Yes, finally, at long last, something resembling Star Trek news to talk about, and bring in my wife. Basically, Paramount and Star Trek kind of dodged a bullet because some kind of something Brumford deal with that's not a kind of a sleazy guy tried to come in at the last second and kind of kibosh the deal with Skydance and sneak in himself with offered $6 billion cash. And he turns out no, it needed a little more than that. So he finally slunk away. Got a strongly worded note from Skydance, and the Skydance deal is back on now. It's actually going to happen now. But we really dodged him because the guy in charge of Skydance, he liked what Kurtzman was doing. He was going to push for more of it. And he's going to just renew the contract, and we never get out of this crap. But that's not happening now.
Thank God.
We dodged a damn bullet there. So Skydance is going to get the deal. The head of Skydance doesn't like Kurtzman. He had to work with JJ's team during the couple of the JJ movies and got to know Kurtzman quite well and doesn't like him. Doesn't like what he's doing with it. So when the current contract finally expires and it's time to renew, it ain't getting renewed. Certainly not in the way that you may think it is. Now, the stuff that's the stuff that's currently in production at the time they take over, they'll finish out and we'll see what happens. If, like, say, Strange New Worlds manages to hold on enough, it's just fine. Okay, fine, we'll do that. But the contracts would be on a show-by-show basis. It won't be this blanket, you are the Grand Poobah. No, that ends. It'll be like you Starfleet Academy. If that kid's okay, fine. But if it doesn't, no, it's gone.
Hallelujah.
And this is something, but also the whole point is to get control, because right now, all the stuff, it's like, Paramount owns the intellectual property of Star Trek. But Skydance produces a little bit. Therefore, Skydance technically kind of has, here we go. Now we can get a real thing going here.
Bob, hey.
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 Na 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 na.
Yeah, I should have a kazoo here.
I found mine that's around.
Yeah, I need to find. I need to get one.
It's over. Son of a bitch. Well, during a down time spot in the stream, I'll grab it.
See about it. Anyway, I don't know. Recap real quick here. Paramount dodged a bullet. The idiot from out of nowhere did not get the deal, so the Skydance scale is back on.
Okay. Yeah, I heard some rumblings about that.
Yeah, the guy who was trying to sneak in, it's like he liked Kurtzman. He would have gotten more of it. Yeah. No.
Oh, God, no way.
He's not doing it, so yeah, we're saved. Okay. And it's going to be and from now on, it'll be on a show-by-show basis. And I think it won't be longer. No, Paramount will own what they put out. It won't be, because it's similar basically in a way. And I think this is where it's going to be handy because, yes, there's probably some institutional knowledge when they had to deal with the animated series. Because Paramount did not produce that. Filmation produced it.
Yeah. Filmation.
Paramount Television just distributed it.
What network was that originally on? Was that on CBS?
It was NBC. It was NBC.
Oh, it was NBC?
That was NBC's trying to claim for a little redemption for canceling it like 3 years earlier. So, the sets are all gone and everyone's scattered the four winds. So, how about a cartoon? Okay, fine. I'll take what I can get. We'll do a cartoon. It'll be a proof of yes, there's still an audience.
Yeah.
But years later, Next Generation comes along and it's like, well, what about, we want to get some Edoans in there. And, well, it turns out no, because if we do that, then we have to got Filmation to check. Paramount's never liked having to pay money they don't have to. So that's why the animated series was non-canon for a while. It's for legal purposes.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of Roddenberry didn't like it, but Roddenberry had a way of saying whatever he could to get out of a conversation. So,
one of the things I always the animated series was one of those things I always was like, did I dream that? I had like vague memories of it when I was really, really young, but then then I saw years later on Nickelodeon. I'm like, oh yeah, that was real, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I've got the Laserdisc. So that's Laserdisc. The only way you get it, the way it was originally aired. That or maybe the VHS at the time.
It was really tough to find for a long while there.
Well, it only had 22 episodes. It's kind of hard to do much.
You can't.
syndication
Yeah,
with
you
that.
can't syndicate it. Yeah.
It put in both technically 2 seasons, but the second season was like 6 episodes. They just because we're cartoons that repeat all the time. So that's why it's the 4th and 5th. No, it's only the 4th season. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a shortened 4th season.
Abbreviated 4th season.
Yeah, with Star Trek Continues being the nice 5th season. There you go. There's your. But they had to until they negotiated the whole thing and got full ownership of the animated series. It was forbidden to touch any of it. Anything that was exclusive to them, no Noedoans, Cations were off. The Gazinti definitely went out of there.
Yeah.
But certain parts of but in the end,
you roboted out a second.
Okay. No, Robert April was not original to the animated series. He came from the thing, so they could claim him.
Mm-hmm.
Certain elements of Spock's childhood reference in Journey to Babel, so they could, could still put of that. They just leave out the part where Spock goes back in time and saves his life when he was kid. The Sailot, well, yeah, but just don't say what he looked like. But that's all right. But notice, once, and again, it took a while to settle it all out, but shortly after Roddenberry died, then, okay, now we got it, which kind of maybe Roddenberry was part of the problem. But my big thing is like, so what do you mean? Notice when the animated series came out on DVD, it was on CBS Home Video, not on Filmation. Filmation was putting on other shows, series sets of other shows they'd done, and they were on Filmation.
Filmation, they did a Tarzan series for a long time.
Tarzan, the Lone Ranger,
Zorro, was another big one. A lot of public domain properties. Didn't they also do a Flash Gordon? Was that Filmation, the Flash Gordon one, or was that a different?
Maybe
studio?
I don't know. I have to look that up. I know NBC did a Flash Gordon. There was a lot of rotoscoping involved.
I used to like that Flash Gordon series.
Yeah,
that was actually wasn't bad.
What I recall of it,
yeah.
Problem is Saturday mornings. I didn't want to get up in the morning, so there was a lot of stuff I just missed. Okay, it's not my favorite cartoons. It's like like I didn't.
Dungeons and Dragons doesn't hold up as well as it did back then.
No, but I'm like original Space Ghost. It's like that. I love that. Yeah. But it was on too damn early though. But yeah, so basically, what they're going to do, I think, is what ones do they want to continue? Without Kurtzman, like say Lower Decks.
Well, okay, but
they're going to go in and just buy which ones they want to get, like Lower Decks or Prodigy.
So they're really going to do like almost like a negative pickup situation.
Pretty much, yeah. It's going to come, but like if they want to do a legacy because they got the support for it, they're going to go in and just pretty much purchase that property from Secret How to buy them out. But the stuff they don't want to continue, they just won't. And the thing is, Kurtzman can't do it on his own. Because he doesn't own the property, and he can't just file off the serial number. It's the Starship Independence from the United conglomerate. It doesn't work that way.
One of the things that they used to, one of the things I've been saying for a long time is that Kurtzman does this thing where he just throws everything against the wall, says it's in production, and he's just like, well, you can't cancel it now. I got all this stuff in the pipeline. And there's that thing. Once it's in production, once it's technically in production, they have to commit to it.
Well, that's the theory. I think I would charge students like, you can't watch me. I'm going to go down to the studio right now and tell them, everyone shut it down. You're done. I don't care if you're in the middle of a damn scene.
For God's sake. I'm only one
Angry Orchard in. So I will personally cut the power to this soundstage if you don't knock it off.
Be like Elliot Gould walking out on the set on SNL. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. Can you go check the sound effects here? Yeah, I'm sorry, but we have started to unfortunately cancel Star Trek. Fire. That's what I was going to send some to Vic Mignon. Vic Mignon. If they want to do one last little hurrah with this, do a reenactment of that sketch. Yeah, on the sets.
Yeah. Oh God.
It'd be fun to see Tabercorn going, I got my contract. Where are my ears?
God's sake.
I'm still kind of pissed at CBS right now.
Everybody's pissed at CBS.
Yeah, they do so much things they get pissed off at. Yeah.
They canceled my favorite NCIS show like 10 episodes into the 3rd season. And they canceled on a
Well,
fucking cliffhanger.
well,
NCIS
Moonves-
the Bronx.
yeah, Moonves had to put him on a theory. Let's do like the British series. It's just small, the shorter seasons, and like, well,
One of the
it's
things
a nice idea, but it doesn't work as well.
I never quite understood the whole. I mean, like, not that I don't want to say I don't get NCIS. I get it, but there's all like one for every major city. NCIS is Seattle, NCIS St. Louis,
NCIS Omaha,
NCIS Muncie.
Yeah. It needs to be a Navy installation somewhere. They can't just stick them in the middle.
Yeah, they actually have an NCIS installation in Perth, in Australia.
NCIS South Bend.
Yeah, but Sydney has a better ring to it, so they call it NCIS Sydney.
Yeah,
it's kind of like originally Dallas was supposed to be in Houston, but Dallas is a more Western sound to it.
My father used to call it Texas. Oh, is it the Texas time tonight? That was George Harrison's favorite show, Dallas.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was also
George.
John Barrowman's favorite.
Oh,
show.
Barrowman. Well, yeah, Barrowman was growing up with it.
Oh God.
But
not to get too off the beaten path. It's always funny to hear Brits talk about places in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Get Back, John turns to Paul and goes, "Does Get Back? Does JoJo left us Tucson, Arizona? Yeah, Tucson's in Arizona, right? Yeah, that's." And like Paul's like, "Yeah, that's where they make high chaparral."
That was a hit show at the time.
No, I'm not.
I'm watching the rerun.
High chaparral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's that song by Paper Lace, the Night Chicago Died.
That was a British band. Yeah.
On the east side of Chicago. That's Lake Michigan.
Yeah. No, they originally did Billy Don't Be a Hero, but what's his face? Bo Stevens, I think, or Bo Donaldson.
Yeah.
He heard it while I was over there and pinched it and got it in the U.S. before they could.
Oh, God. So, okay.
It was about the U.S. Civil War. They made it about Vietnam.
Yeah. So this very well may be the end of the beginning for
the beginning the beginning of the end for Kurtzman Trek. And I think that will be the big when they finally take power next year. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna decide what goes on and what stops right now. Your carte blanche tech ends right now, Alex. Pack your bags.
Rob,
he could very well be out and they just continue without him.
Well, yeah, but Secret Hideout's a problem they got to deal with theirs. And again, this whole thing because they own part of it. So
I don't know if you ever heard
what they want to continue with, they'll have to buy off, and the rest of it's like, well, you're not doing anything anyway. We're not going to let you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Steph. I keep cutting you off.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever heard about it, but Alex Kurtzman and Robert Orsi got in deep shit when they were doing the 5-0 reboot.
They were shooting a scene at the Punch Bowl at the military, cemetery there. And there was an actual ceremony going on nearby, and Kurtzman tried to shut him down and things like, and no, you don't do that.
Oh, you want to
no. And then Lenkov, they were producing just about you're trying to get us kicked out of the whole damn islands.
Alex Kurtzman went to Wesleyan, which is in my neck of the woods. It's in Middletown, Connecticut. And I keep thinking, I'm like, I had to have run into him somewhere.
Possibly.
I had to have run into somewhere. And he's just like, I'm going to get back at the fat guy who made fun of me. He said he liked Star Trek, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah.
Really, you thought you like that. Yeah, right.
Yeah. He called me a bonehead.
Yeah,
and you're proving you are a bonehead.
Yeah, I've been hearing rumors for years that Kurtzman actually broke a TV. Doomcock was talking shit about him.
The story went around. Yeah, I don't doubt it, but there's no way to prove it. It brought a smile to Doomcock's face.
I don't doubt it. I really don't. It's listen. Doomcock is one of those guys. I'm like, he's very charismatic.
Yeah.
And You know, they listen. If She-Hulk taught me anything, we learned anything from She-Hulk is they listen to Doomcock. They listen to Doomcock.
Not sure how trustworthy he is, unbelievable is, but he gets attention. He's got a damn good gimmick. I used to give him shout outs.
I gave him he every time he at least profusely thanks me every year around his birthday.
Yeah.
Because I was like the first one to shout him out.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I can't help you. I can't thank you enough." I'm like, somebody would have found you eventually. It just happened to be me. I keep saying,
unfortunately, we were quite literally homeless at the time, so I was doing this stuff at side McDonald's at a Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever heard about it, Rob, but there was this one time when you know our cat had gotten killed in.
Well, my accident in Florida.
I remember the accident.
Yeah, I got cracked up. Unfortunately, the cat didn't make it. I think.
Yeah,
again, I have absolutely no memory of it. What's not even going into it. I was driving along, and the next time I know I'm loaded in a helicopter. But apparently I was ejected, and I'm guessing the cat was. I was thrown clear. The cat wasn't. It was kind of in the path, and it's like it wasn't.
And Doomcock actually sang "Oh Danny Boy" for Jonesy.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, for God's sake!
The cat was damn near drinking age at that point. So it's like I don't know how much longer he would have. But then Orange Tabby's liver rate might have still been around with us at this point.
Yeah.
Old crotchety.
It's always sad to lose a pet, no matter how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told Bob this next time we get a cat, I want a Maine Coon.
Those fuckers are big. Ooh, boy.
Oh.
I mean, you can see her whole Jonesy right there in that old picture.
I saw
it wasn't exactly a small cat.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the two cats that played Grudge on Star Trek Discovery. Oh my God! I mean, David Ajala was holding them, and they were like, just running down his arms.
Yeah, I think my sister had a Maine Coon. I can't confirm it because I never saw it. All I know is the cat was under the bed one time when I was there, and I couldn't get to it.
Yeah, a friend of mine has a Maine Coon. He's big, yeah. Yeah. Oh God. So yeah, I was excited. I finally found my Monty Python box set. I'm like, that's where it is.
I've got like a couple of big, huge video files. Supposed to be all the Monty Python stuff.
Yeah, but
there was a guy that was on. There was a guy on just kind of like from various other projects he's done. He just passed away in the last couple years or so from ALS.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
My best friend Jim. My best friend Jimmy. He was my best friend for a while. He was actually an Air Force veteran. He was a combat controller.
Yeah.
Served in Bosnia. Served in the first Gulf War.
Yeah.
And he actually, was great. He was a great guy, and he had some great stories. And sadly, he passed away due to ALS.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say a lot of Gulf War veterans actually are coming down with it, and they don't understand why. They think it might be due to the anti-sarin injections that they gave them.
Probably a good thing I didn't deploy enough. I was told to stand by for the first Gulf War because I had just gotten out, but I was still on inactive reserve.
Yeah.
So I got a letter say, they're going to call my ass up. I don't think so. Now, there's a proof of concept I'm going to be working on here. Going to finish up. The canon version of Discovery. That's what the ship should have looked like.
Yeah.
Now that it's actually going to be this one over here. I got to paint it, so it's going to get the decal set up.
Yeah, people talk about, you're really soured on Star Trek. I'm like, no, I'll watch the original series all day long, and I'll watch TNG all day long.
Yeah,
it's
real Star Trek, but
the new stuff I can't stand.
Well,
again, I took a whip. lower decks on the. Oh, no, these guys actually know it. They're going for the jokes. This is not frontline ships. These are the support crews.
Yeah.
And they're big fans of Starfleet. That's why you got Boimler has memorized Picard's log entries. These are the guys that inspired to go into Starfleet. So yeah, they're going to be fanboys of the mainline crews.
Yeah,
so.
there were actors on. Yeah, there were actors on Discovery that I actually liked. Like Kenneth Mitchell. He's one who just died of ALS a couple years ago.
A lot of the problem is not the cast; it's the idiotic writers and producers.
And the guy who played Saru, Doug Jones.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I mean he's a big hugger.
You know what his first gig was in Hollywood?
What was it?
Remember, the Mac Tonight.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, the McDonald's.
Yeah.
That was all him.
Big, lanky, goofy, and managed to carry off that weird costume.
Yeah, we saw him on one of those makeup effect shows that the kid sis was watching, honey.
Was it Face Off or what?
Yeah.
I think one of the judges is the guy who designed the Klingons, the Klingworks. And thing is, one of the things he criticized some of the is that you don't want to go obscure the face. You want and what did he do with the Klingons? Just I can't understand what you're saying.
Are you talking to me?
Remember the old Hardware Wars? Anyone know what he's saying? No, playing basketball is peaceful. We have no weapons.
I just rewatched that actually again recently.
Yeah, one of the Klingorks for a while, and then there was a character he got on in season 4 who was a scientist for the Emerald Chain.
Yeah, he was already in a chair by that point. So
yeah.
Oops.
One of that's a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was at. He started going to conventions a while there, but by then he'd had it kind of gone the Stephen Hawking route with a computerized voice.
Yeah.
He'd joke, I've been assimilated.
Yeah. Something I've found out is it is so for like journalists in war zones to actually get treated at military hospitals.
Well, yeah, because they're kind of responsible for them being there.
Like that guy from Fox News.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This little jobber here, the Disco Prize. This one, it originally started off as John Eves, proposal for the NX-01.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but Berman said it looks too much like Kirk's Enterprise. We'll give it to Drexler, see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what you did with that JJ Prize ship that you got?
Oh, what I'm going to do, because in trying to get another Revell Enterprise, a German one, there was a mix-up, and I ended up getting the JJ Prize by mistake. I got a partial refund, managed to funnel that into getting a proper Enterprise, a Revell. But I've got it, and it's this, it really looks more like a cruise ship. So I figured I'm going to mock up some Pacific Princess decals. I already got a hold of a guy at JT Graphics. It's like compare the artwork and see, it'll pay about maybe $15-$20, and it'll be the Astral Princess.
Yeah.
Maybe do up a thing because that Love Boat: The Next Generation skit they did on.
God, I love that sketch. Oh, that is like one of my favorite SNLs. Set course for love,
Roma.
romance.
Oh God.
Coochie coochie.
Oy, man.
Oh God. Transporter of Zengun and oh my man, never mind, send her back.
Captain, my main man.
Something I found out is the Jack Abbott on on Young and the Restless before Peter Bergman came in
Mm.
was actually on Star Trek in Good Times.
Yeah, my mom used to watch Young and the Restless all the
Mhm.
time. She was a
Yeah.
very devoted fan of Young and the Restless.
Yeah. Well, when they started canceling all the other shows, it became very easy to become the only show left.
Yeah. There were, at their height,
Mhm.
there were 19, I believe, 19
Mhm.
daytime dramas on the air.
Oh, it was like,
Like,
God, after the game shows, it was a
And that was the 70s.
Oh
Yeah.
God, let's see. You had Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, Guiding Light, As the World Turns.
Guiding Light was another big one my mom used to watch.
The Secret Storm was one back in the day. You know,
yeah,
There was
Christopher
one.
Crawford was on that for a while.
There was the Bold and the Beautiful.
That one's still going. Yeah.
Capital. There was one called Capital. I
I
remember.
think I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one, The Edge of Night.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That was.
Trying to think of what else there was. You know, the big ones as Days of Our Lives, As the World Turns.
NBC just NBC by itself. They had Days of Our Lives. They had The Doctors. I think was one.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara. I think was one.
Oh,
There. I mean,
yeah,
there
was,
were.
Yeah, and ABC is like they just they
There
still
were-
got
Oh.
General Hospital. We had All My Children. Hell, shit. I know Ryan's Hope was one. It was
Ryan's Hope. Yeah.
it was All My Children was it was a crossover with another one. I'm forgetting what it was. But
oh god.
shit.
Yeah.
That is actually, but that's the thing though.
Mhm.
That was actually where a lot of young TV writers went to go and work out their craft. That was actually the proving ground because you had to write and you had to write consistently. You had to meet deadlines. You had to write consistently, and
you didn't have any. Couldn't go with. They very rarely rerun a soap opera episode.
No, yeah.
Actually, there was one series that Seth MacFarlane was doing that actually kind of made me fall in love with Brandon Braga all over again.
Cosmos, yeah. Brandon Braga has kind of redeemed himself. I mean, great. I got quoted in Details magazine, a post I did on AOL, that yes, Brandon Braga is the Antichrist. I have pictures.
But to keep on that on this train of thought, though, I mean, that's another thing. A lot of young writers would actually write for magazines.
Yeah.
Because magazines, they have to fill pages and they need articles and they need short stories, and you would write your short story. And a lot of young comedy writers used to write for National Lampoon, or they used to write for Mad or Cracked or whatever, you know, or Reader's Digest. You don't have that anymore. You used to you write for magazines. Even adult magazines used to have articles.
Yeah.
I mean, the new issue of Moist has the article by Timothy Leary in it, advocating legalization of LSD or whatever.
Yeah, Playboy used to run fiction.
Yeah, actually, I had a few issues of Playboy where they had an all new James Bond short story.
Yeah, I think they serialized some James Bond stuff.
Yeah. You don't have that anymore. People just, I'm a writer. I'm like, well, what are your credits? I don't have any.
Yeah.
This Rings of Power thing. You wonder why it sucks? These guys have no experience.
Yeah, and no knowledge of the source material apparently either. Given a list of names, we can get rid of these. Other than that, have fun.
Yeah,
no, we can't do that. Why? It looks like something in the actual story. We can't do that.
They know J.J. Abrams. That is their only screen credit.
Yeah. It's like Rob Burnett coming. Today's writers, they know Buffy.
Oh.
They write like they're writing for Buffy or something, but even Joss Whedon is more well-rounded than that. He's the third or fourth generation TV writer.
Yes,
but they don't go any further than what than him. It's like comic book writer, comic book artists that only write from comic books. It's like you need to branch out,
Actually, you know what? I did enjoy reading Robert Ludlum when I was Robert. I read the To the Bourne books or the Holcroft Covenant.
Yeah, which
is Holcroft Covenant. I always quote that. I don't want to give people a perspective of how much, in terms of money, $1 billion is. When he got that letter from his father, just to give you an idea, there's 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 52 weeks in a year. 1,000,000 seconds is 1 week. 1,000,000,000 seconds is 32 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's your scale.
And a friend of mine actually did the math. He goes, 32 years.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Holcroft Covenant. That's
yeah.
an actually it's a quick read. It's a not it's
Yeah.
a pretty, I wouldn't call it an easy read, but it's actually it's nicely paced.
Yeah, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the Disco Prize. I've declared this the Yorktown class because I downscale it to it's like just between size-wise between an NX and the AMT Enterprise. I don't consider the AMT a Constitution class. It's the one just before because it's slightly shorter, slightly chunkier, and this would be like the right after the NX.
Yeah,
when the first Federation Starship class.
Bob finally found my my picture of Dominic Keating. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's kind of weird because originally she wrote to the studio and wanted to get an autographed picture. Kind of weird because the letter came back, address unknown. The hell it is. 5555 Melrose Boulevard. Sent it back out. This time it got through. And this picture arrived on her birthday. It's like perfect timing. So I sent a note back to hey, and tell them the story. This picture arrived right on her birthday. And another picture came out. I said, how did I know? Dominic Keating.
The second one I got when he second one I got after I sent him a Christmas card.
Okay. I'm not. If in case I go silent, I'm not being rude. I'm pricing out webcams actually. Yeah, I don't think this.
I just bought the damn thing at Walmart.
Mine hasn't turned up yet, and I'm not sure if it will. So, like I said, I said to myself, if I could find my Monty Python box set, then all the other stuff will be in there. And I found the box set, and none of the other stuff were there. So, but I did find the Monty Python box set.
All right, well, that's a victory.
That is a victory. I'm still missing. I'm still missing my 40th anniversary Cheap Trick Live at Budokan box set.
So like seeing when they did a free concert up at the Boulder Reservoir. And they did the entire Budokan set.
Yeah.
And that was the original lineup. Peterson and Bunny was still there.
Yeah, Bunny was still there. Apparently, what happened was, I'm sorry to cut you off, Steph.
Yeah, I was going to say one of our first concerts that Bob and I went to see when we were volunteering at a radio station up there was Weird Al.
No, that must have been cool.
I don't know one of the first ones, but it was. I think we got into a couple of shows down at the Ogden, but
I just saw Cheap
because that was my birthday show.
Yeah. I just saw Cheap Trick actually back about a month, not a month, about the beginning of the month at Mohegan Sun. My nephew is he's got his wampum card and he spent a lot of money on the slots and he got free tickets. So I'm like, oh, cool, thank you. Well, he dropped a lot of money at the slot on the slots, so that's how he paid for it.
About as much as it cost to just buy the tickets, probably.
More.
Oh, remember the Rick Springfield concert, honey? Oh my God.
Yeah, that was another way we got through this thing. It was kind of a comeback show. It was just him, a few guitars, and some backing tracks on a laptop. So not a lot of gear, but the thing is, United Airlines lost the gear for a while.
Oh yeah,
that kind of held up the sound check just about before showtime. This is November. We're waiting outside. So it's getting kind of cold, and some people are getting a little irritated. And eventually, Rick Springfield pops his head out. Okay, hi. Anybody who work for United Airlines? Yeah, we just got our gear. We're going to do the fastest sound check, but I'll get you in here as soon as we can. But some guy, even after that, felt compelled to start screaming at the poor ticket girl.
Yeah, there's one in every crowd.
And he immediately got jumped on by everybody else. As normally this shit happens, it's like at a 7-Eleven, no one else is around. This time he had an audience. Hey, what? Yeah, like she's home. She lost it. Yeah, get the fuck back in line. He slunk back to his line here.
Yeah,
I said, you need to put up a sign. Don't shoot me. I'm just a ticket seller.
Oh God,
she took it in good time.
I saw Rick Springfield at Toad's Place. Oh God, it has to be the early '90s. It was actually really good.
Yeah, it's a good show. Yeah, even when we saw him, just I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. No, 10 years ago.
Yeah. He played in Vegas last year, actually too. So that was actually pretty cool. He said, "Oh, thank you. It's nice to be back. I lived here for 2 years." It's like, yeah. I'm like, well, thank you very much, Rick.
No, they did a bunch of stories. I think one thing that irritated me, I saw an interview. He got a call from the Oprah Winfrey Show. They wanted to do a special on one-hit wonders.
He had more than one hit.
What? Jesse's Girl wasn't even his biggest hit. The one that's held on the longest, but I've done everything for you was a bigger hit than Jesse's Girl. And the fact he did like a 2-hour show, Jesse's Girl was the last song he did in the regular set. But he told stories about when he was starting off playing fire bases in Vietnam.
Oh man!
So it's like after having to pause a show for a mortar attack, hecklers are nothing.
Yeah, wasn't there
starting off like incoming? All right, we're clear.
Yeah. Wasn't there a mortar shell attack during one of the WWE shows in?
Yeah, I think one of their appearances over there. It's like they had to pause it. Yep, mortar attack coming in.
I'll tell you.
I still remember that first tribute to the troops show. Talking about.
Yeah, I actually was in
about performance.
See, those are the kind of stories my buddy Jimmy used to tell me, and about how he was I can't remember what squad commander was named, but the guy is like getting off the back of a C-130 and go, bullets are whizzing past me.
Yeah,
he goes, yeah, Jack Bauer, he's real. That guy was Jack Bauer.
I'm just wondering, did Bob ever tell you the story about the time when he was in England and
I was a high Charlie.
Yeah, it's like, that was when the Enterprise blew up, wasn't it? Or
not the Enterprise, the Columbia, the Challenger.
Oh, Challenger.
Yeah, Enterprise was safely ensconced in the Smithsonian, and they actually, they were crucially investigating the crash and the accident because they had the same carbon fibers on the leading edge of the wing, so they're able to boom. Yep, that's what happened. Shot a chunk of ice and right on through. Yep.
See, like I said, I was never in the service, but I had a lot of friends that were. And Jimmy, I used to say to him that Jim, Columbia. You got. I said, Jim, you got to do stand up. You got to tell these stories. He says, no, you tell them. Like, I'm not going to tell them because they're your stories, and you got to tell them. He says, no, just say they happened to you and just tell them on stage. I said, Jim, look at me. Do I look like I'd be thrown out of a German whorehouse? I don't. Okay. So.
Oh God.
No, I don't try to claim other people's war stories for my own. But I will tell them. But this didn't happen to me. I heard it from my friend.
Yeah, he said him and his buddy got thrown out of the Hotel Artemis in Germany. It was a converted hotel, and he said on the first floor it had everything you could want. On the first floor there were white girls. Second floor there were black girls. Third floor there were Asian girls. Fourth floor there were like Hispanic girls. So his buddy goes up there and have a good time. That the bouncers on each end. If the light goes off, there's trouble. He gets kicked out. The guy. He's waiting in the lobby for him. All of a sudden, this big bouncer comes down carrying his friend. Literally throws him out the door. He's like, "What did you do?"
Oh, there was a time when my dad was in Okinawa, and he and a buddy, went exploring some nearby caves and enameled thing. They took it back to the base
And
and
they found these urns. They're just like, oh, why'd someone believe? There were funeral urns. These are cremated ashes, and the housekeeper came out. No, you got to put that back.
Yeah.
My dad actually, he never really told a lot of stories from the war because he was 15 years old.
Yeah,
he got captured by the Germans. When he was in the Nazis came into said the N-word. The Germans came into
you said it. I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Well, okay. The Germans came into his town. They gathered up all the men in the town square. They felt their arms. Okay, you, and the women were like, no. Yeah, if we don't take the men, we're going to take the women. So be quiet.
Yeah.
So they hauled them off to a work camp. And his job was to get water. The guards used to go with him with the machine guns, with the MP40s. And one day it was rain, and they said, "Yeah, go make sure you come back." He didn't come back. They captured him, and it was the same story. It was raining, and they said, "Man, yeah, make sure you come back." He didn't come back.
Yeah, all right.
He's in the rain, banging on a church door. Father, let me in. If the Germans catch me, they're going to shoot me. After the Germans let you let you in here, they're going to shoot me.
Shoot me, yeah.
And it was a farmer. He told me he was a farmer that took him in. I got 7 kids. Come on, what's one more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, remember that German? I think it was infantry guy that they portrayed in The Pianist.
I only saw the movie once. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, this guy actually hid Vladek Spillman through the rest of the war.
It was an officer. It wasn't just some infantry guy.
Because of his piano playing.
Oh, here we go.
Boom.
There you got a crowd.
Oh yeah. But I was about to finish though that little tidbit. That is when the Americans came in.
That's Henry. Yeah.
Hi, Rosetta.
Hey, Rob.
When the Americans came in, the Fourth Army liberated Italy with General Clark. The Americans came in and they, were they were part of the Jeep park there, and he was fishing for a pack of crackers that fell underneath the Jeep. And one of the guys like, oh, look out, he's going to plant a button. No, the kid's hungry. Okay, let's go to the mess tent, give him something to eat. He said that was the first time he ever had bacon and eggs. And one of the things they always had was Spam. And so when he got married to my mom, there was always a can of Spam somewhere in the house.
Yeah.
So that is my association with Spam. Yeah. So
you think Spam is bad? You should try the government knockoff they used to give out in commodities for the tribe.
Spum.
I don't even remember what they called it. It literally was like, I mean, you could choke it down if you were starving if you like fried it for like 30 minutes in butter.
Processed meat product.
You could choke it down so you don't die, but you had to really disguise the taste.
Yeah,
it was so
meat
bad.
Product number 3.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to number 1 and 2.
I mean, then again, I look at that and okay, that I knew was crap and made of a bunch of animals I didn't want to recognize. Then again, I grew up in a family where getting packages of mystery meat that were unlabeled from hunters in the family was not uncommon to keep from starving. So
yeah,
hi kitty.
No, we got a can of Spam with her.
Kitty.
I don't think I want to. Hi, Ornery, sweetie. What do you want?
Kitty.
Service me, human.
He wants it. He's like,
no, I know what she's after.
Her CBD.
Her treats.
There we go.
Oh, that reminds me. They legalized weed in CT. I have to find a dispensary. I want to get some CBD.
You want to try that again?
No, I'm not gonna get high. I just want CBD.
Yeah.
I don't like getting high.
CBD has helped with my tics and my spasms a lot. There she is. Look at her go.
Yeah, you don't want to.
There she.
You don't know about it. Forgetting how to read.
Yeah. I forgot how to got high. I forgot how to read. Yeah, I actually told the guy one time at the dispensary, listen, I've gotten high. I don't like it. Do you have anything without the THC? Oh yeah, we'll be able to.
There's a shop I order through now over in South Dakota where they do all the stuff locally and stuff. The owner specializes in trying to make CBD TH-free stuff for people for different medical needs, anxieties, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He specializes in it, and he makes really good stuff for it. I'll see if I can send you the link later.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that was
Because
great.
he'll ship to any state where you can buy it, which is basically everywhere except for Nebraska.
But you were talking about how nasty the government issue, whatever it was, spum was.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of buying Dollar General cheese this week. It is cheese in name only.
Kind of says it all right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's still a step up from the government cheese when I was a kid, too, by the way.
We've got a couple of blocks of government cheese. It's like, oh, yeah, it's still here.
The government cheese today is nowhere near as bad as when I was a kid in the 80s.
Okay.
My Aunt Grace used to get government cheese and butter. I'm like, great, yeah, freaking senior citizens have to watch what they eat, and they're giving them cheese.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. When I was a kid and we were getting these things, they're giving these to people who have medical issues from being experimented on, to children and elderly out in the middle of nowhere in poverty, and they're giving you massive amounts of really, really low-end horrid pasta and meat byproducts that are almost all lard ripped out of animals that they had to throw away.
Oh, wow.
And that's what they gave you.
The stuff that wouldn't even go into bologna.
Oh, please. Bologna was considered a treat in that era. I mean,
talk about pasta. I've been...
when we got some ground venison from the food bank. Came up
it's
with the shepherd's pie.
Yeah, I've been doing because I think I call it stalker's pie.
Yeah. You mentioned pasta. I've been dying actually for something called pasta galov, which my mom used to make all the time. It's like it's pasta and pecorino cheese and black pepper, and you throw some eggs in it to sort of hold it all together. And it's it's really bad for you, but it is so good. And you bake it in the oven for like 45 minutes. It gets all crispy and on the outside, and like soft and cheesy in the middle. I'm like, oh man.
Who just had a pizza?
Technically, I have a bunch of stuff I can't use anymore because ever since the medical reaction, I am like hyper restricted on carbs. But out in the other room, I've got bag loads of freaking imported Italian truffle pastas and shit that I got off markdowns a while back.
Yikes!
It's like I'm not wasting those. Those are cheap, even marked down. But I think I'll probably go take them all over to my family and give them to my mom and my niece. I can't waste that.
No.
I
made. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get it out.
You got those T-bones at that meat shop.
Yeah.
This is one of Rosetta's stories. It's
okay. Let's say I don't remember getting any T-bones. And there's Panther.
I made actually pasta fazool for a roommate. It was like, ever had pasta fazool? No, never had it. All right, sit back. You're in for a treat. And he's like, can you put like red pepper on it? I'm like, you can put red pepper, you can put black pepper, you can put hot sauce, you can put anything you freaking want on it. That's the beauty of it. And he's like, go ahead. And he's like, he takes his first bite. He's like, hey, this is really good. I'm like, and there you go, my friend.
That's why Dino sang about it.
I used to, and I won't do it anymore because I'm not making it if I can't at least have a piece. I used to do really fancy multi-layered lasagnas and stuff from scratch. And it's like, I'm not doing that anymore. Do you know how long it takes to make fresh marinara and all that to do it?
Well, not completely fresh, but the job was like doing lasagna more or less from scratch. It's like it's more of an argument for why you buy the frozen.
I love fresh lasagna, but I would sit there and I would do things like sit there and and cook down tomatoes and stuff for like 3 days and simmer cook fresh barbecue sauces from scratch and stuff like that. Yeah, I love to cook actually.
My mom used to get up early on Saturday morning and used to make sauce all morning long. So that's so I'm familiar with the whole process. And my dad used to make homemade pasta. He had the machine with the crank and
My mom does that actually until the reaction and me being unable to eat carbs now. Anytime I'd be staying with mom and I'd get sick, she'd sit there and hand crank out and make a bunch of fresh little mild pasta dishes and soups and stuff for me to eat while I was there.
No.
Every time I'd visit and I wasn't feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, you idiot! What the hell was that?
He disappeared.
What did he do?
He lost his balance on the back of the chair and fell to the bottom there.
I meant to do that.
Poor baby.
I meant. Oh, for God's sake, cats are idiots.
Say what? Say what? Stick a penis in your butt.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rosetta, you should tell Rob about that one time when you came home and you had been around this this lady who had gotten into an accident with she was stoned off.
I want open the doors like a Cheech and Chong movie. It's like, everyone.
Oh,
goes.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, I know which one she wants me to tell. Okay, there's a story to this. So there's a few experiences because I have a very, very bad medical reaction.
I'm going to get another soda.
So I was driving, doing my photo drives, and I was coming around this back road, and I was probably about a half a block to a block in front of a cop car, going the same direction as me. I was approaching this bridge. This woman came driving the opposite direction over the bridge. Her car smoked out so much she was like a Cheech and Chong movie.
Oh,
you could barely see her in the vehicle. She's weaving all over. I managed to dodge her, at which point she lost control, spun out, and hit the tree behind me in front of the cops on their cam. That's the start. That's the start of this. So, of course, I stopped so I could talk to the cops and let them know what I saw and find out if they need me for anything. And no, they got it on dash cam with 2 witnesses. She's kind of toasted at this point, So they talked to me a bit and they go, well, how are you doing? It's like, well, I really react to exposure to people with their THC. And the cop just looks at me and goes, okay. I was on my way to get my husband to get home because he works on the other side of town. It takes about 15, 20 minutes to get there. Go now. Go get him before it knocks you out. It's like, thank you. Bye. Right? I barely got to him before I wasn't safe to drive. And by the time I got home, I could barely function. So I passed out. There was smoke everywhere, just trying to talk to them for a few minutes. I passed out. I wake up a few hours later, and my cat is sniffing me. This is when I realized I passed out so fast because I was feeling sick that I didn't get out of the dress that was exposed to the smoke. Baby girl is a little druggy.
Mm-hmm.
She was sucking the smoke out of the dress and getting high.
Oh,
a little furry stoner. Yeah.
At which point I'm laughing. I'm taking this off, and she's like hanging in the dress, going, like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, you dumb cat.
No, cat equivalent.
We had we give CBD to Ornery for her hip issues, and my husband forgot to close the jar completely. He also left it on the back corner on my table. I move in and out when I'm doing my artwork. So I'm trying to get in and out, and the bottle hit the floor. I was up there, got it, grabbed the bottle within like half a second, barely spilled any before I caught it. But by the time I got up and grabbed this bottle, from down the hall was this black and white streak going, jumps right onto the spill and starts sucking it out of the carpet.
Man.
That cat is a druggie.
What about that time?
God, she's a druggie.
What about that time you had a meltdown on stream and comforting you? Wow.
She was comforting me a little bit until she noticed the plate of the drying CBD gummies over here, and then she tried to get the plate.
Yeah, it kind of kills the mood.
You little shit.
Mm-hmm.
She has broken into sealed, latched containers. We have a clip of her recently where she was trying to look at the CBD I stash over here, and I said, "Yeah, that's in a locked and sealed container, so you can't get it, right?" Hits me on camera and starts preaching at me. So she basically share the drugs, bitch.
You holding out on me?
Baby girl's a druggie. She's been ever since she managed to taste it.
Yeah.
The first time she managed to taste it, she broke through a latched container and 3 different zip bags to get in and steal one of the little gummy pieces. These little gummy pieces are about 50 times stronger than the medical doses we give ornery.
The good stuff.
So we come home and we find this open, and we look over and baby girl's laying on Steve's chair, and she's like, so he picks her up and goes, baby girl. As he picks her up, she ragdolls over his arm upside down, and then when she looks down at the carpet, her eyes go wide, and she starts spinning her head around and around, going, purring.
Which is kitty cat for I'm so wasted.
Yes, that's exactly what that is.
And we're just sitting there watching her going, what the fuck is wrong with you, cat?
Just change it into Spicoli at that point.
And there's Panther again.
Yeah.
Hey, you little dummy. I love you.
I've
got crazy cats. I've got crazy cats.
Yeah, that's the reason I changed my little headline or whatever you want to call it.
She likes my big black pussy. Charlie, you didn't follow me over to my channel and send me some supers the other day. You gave him love and not me. He doesn't need love. I mean,
yes, he does. Especially after that bad experience with crap. What's her face?
Well, again, it's like it. All in all, nothing really has changed much. I'd already modified my behavior, so nothing's
Sorry, Charlie, I'm just teasing. Honest, I won't try to actually make anybody give me money. I just like to be a snarky little greedy bitch sometimes.
I mean, the judge did rule. I'm not. She didn't real. She yet. I'm not ruling you as a threat. It's that your behavior is bizarre.
I'm not talking about Indy, dear.
What are you talking about?
Mary.
What about Mary?
She came in, disrupted a live stream.
Oh, that. Well, I was trying to raise some funds.
That was a long time ago.
I know. It's like, good God, I forgot it. Yeah. There's nothing. I'm trying to offer an olive branch because she's trying to do her own little kind of 12-stick. And we're thinking,
I'm gonna say this nicely, Steph. You have got to learn to quit being such a bitter, angry bitch.
Yeah.
I love you.
I mean, I'd forgotten about it, but I've still put out a few tentative, big tape. Mary, I'm willing to reconcile here. Come on, let's talk.
You love me enough to send me my coasters when you get them,
honey. It's gonna go in the list of projects. I'm a little busy.
Push, okay. Yeah.
I know.
Don't be greedy. Well,
you know very well your wife has a greedy streak. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if Bob told you this one, Rob, but he finally got me the ring I've been bitching for about 20 years.
Bob, you're not supposed to give in to women who nag.
Well,
you're supposed to make them do nice things to get what they want.
This is titanium ring, same one that Ed Harris had in the Abyss.
Bob.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're undermining my advice to women. If you want things from your man, you don't nag for it. You give him pleasure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There are logistical issues on that front. I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, why do you think I end up on large amounts of CBD before we mess around? The last thing I need is to tick wrong with my tongue or cheat at the wrong moment.
Yeah, that would not be good. It was like, no. Last time I did stitches down there. No, you're never touching that again.
Yeah, I actually asked me the ring when we got our Tabor refund.
Yes.
Yeah, taxpayer bill of rights on it. The one thing Doug Bruce managed to get through, otherwise he's an insufferable asshole, but he got that right. But it's like, no, the state does not keep the excess funds. They have to send it back to the people. So every year we get, it's around $1,500. Yeah. So
I think we got like 2,000 this time.
On top of the actual tax refund. So it came to about $2,000 from the state.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Between another 500 from the federal. So that was a fun year.
So
cleared out a lot of my.
I have a lot of crazy shit I'm doing here. If people knew how much stuff is crammed on this little desk.
Mhm.
I've got in front of me here a stack of a whole shit ton of 64 gig zip drives along with a whole bunch of fucking memory cards that are anywhere from 32 gigs to literally half a terabyte.
Mm.
Not to mention all the massive amount of different hard drives attached to this computer everywhere.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I have been literally searching for like 50 years. Whoops.
Just point out how old and pathetic you are.
There you
Hey.
Am I wrong?
Little item from my childhood. I don't know what happened to it originally, but I remember coming across this little jewel here in a drawer. I'm sure it came with us from Kansas, but it was in the, and what happened to it, I have no idea. But I suspect my mother had a hand in it and in it disappearing. So this is my dad, but I managed to find a replacement for it.
What is a Batman? What is that?
A Batman paint by number set from 1965 or so. And it hadn't, and the thing is, it had not been previously painted on. So
I think I got here way too late for the actual Trek conversation.
And so I scanned those in, and I'll be playing with that on the computer, having fun with that.
Oh, remember
Still got the oil paints in there and the paintbrush, but otherwise, it's But no,
the paint's not all dried out.
But it's like literally for over 50 years, I've been trying to track down one of those suckers. So that's
Yeah, honey.
All right. Well, a recap on the Star Trek news for those who might, well, nobody's in the audience now. Not even, Charlie's probably on yours. Are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
not.
so yeah, we have currently what I'm seeing there is 0. So if anybody is actually in the chat, say something. But basically, the Paramount Skydance deal is back on. The interloper who tried to sweep in and screw things up got rebuffed. So plan is still ahead for Kurtzman to be quietly exited from the Star Trek franchise because the David Ellison, the head of Skydance, does not like Kurtzman.
I still maintain that Kurtzman is the kind of fucker who gets a job because you don't want him on the street looking strangers.
Well, he's going to be, joining the Hollywood homeless pretty soon, isn't it?
He's probably has a nice exit clause in his contract. So
well, I think if they try and buy him out, but I think they just let it expire. No, bye.
It's true.
Yeah, I found out.
He's done enough damage. He's made enough money.
Yeah. Well, what franchise hasn't he done some shit to? Okay.
Speaking of the little druggie, she was just trying to get into my kit with my CBD.
Mm-hmm.
Is that her making those noises?
Yeah.
That was her for
Come
a moment
on,
there.
now. They give me a hit. I'm good for it. Come on.
You don't get my CBD.
You know what it's like, man. You don't know what it's like.
No, you cannot have CBD.
No, man. I'm wired, man. I need something.
Sit down, calm down.
You remember the time that Jonesy locked you out of our Ford Explorer and
yeah, the video's still up too.
Good girl.
No, I was when I was doing the live stream. I was out in the Walmart parking lot down in Florida.
Good girl.
And he doing something in the back of the Explorer, and I get up to see what the hell's going on. And while he runs up front and steps on the door lock button,
no CBD.
I don't hear the click.
No
So I go back. He's got the thing up. What? Nothing's going on. So slam it back down. I'm now effectively locked out.
Are you done having a fit yet?
No, man. I'm done, man.
baby
So
girl.
it takes about a half hour for the dome light to finally go out, and he gets a little nervous. Then I got the cat come over, step on the unlock button. Okay, now I'm back in. Still live streaming the whole time.
And that was exhibit A through D of the cat trying to get the CBD.
Mm-hmm. But back to the actual Star Trek content. Okay, basically the plan is it's like, no, we're going to let this current deal finally expire, and then we'll be dealing on a series by series basis. If Strange New Worlds is generating an audience and think, okay, we will renew you for Strange New Worlds. but that's it. You know, if
I
by some strange quirk in nature, Starfleet Academy managed to get something, okay, we'll continue with Star Trek Academy, but I doubt it.
oh god.
Section 31 thing, they're releasing that as a tax write-off. I know it's going to go with like a lead balloon with a hole in the side.
I want people,
but
I want people who understand Star Trek.
Yeah. And that's the argument I've had with Rob Burnett regarding Lower Decks. No, these guys know Star Trek, okay? Get past the jokes and the everything. They know it. They know this universe inside.
I'm not getting past it.
Oh,
It's
I
still
used to-
Cal Arts.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do those. Reference videos, like just ding, and it would, everything. Yeah, and there were a few of them I missed actually, but I was watching it for that, and like, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
it's just I really couldn't.
Well, I think a lot of the because I said a lot of the CBS's insistence.
It's really a humor style I hate, and I hate Cal Arts.
Mm-hmm.
I get why some people like it, and it is at least more respectful to Star Trek than a lot of the other shit.
Yeah.
But I would rather get a dental drill to the fucking nipple than watch something with Cal Arts.
Oh, baby.
Oy. Oy.
Not that I'm opinionated, mind you.
It's really only the facial design, because everything else is pretty standard in animation for the most part.
It's not just actually the shading and stuff is different. It bothers my eyes so much. I hate the art style so fucking much.
I really hate how the main character just at every opportunity just tells us how great she is. You know, I'm just like totally fucking awesome. I'm just like totally awesome, and I'll get away with it because I'm totally awesome. And I'm totally awesome, and I'm awesome. That's why I get away with it. Like I do what I want because I'm awesome. I'm like yeah, you know what.
Well, the difference in this one, though, instead of, as opposed to Mikey Spock, it's like, no, Burnham, you're a fuck up. This is why you're still an ensign and your classmates are captains.
I don't care if somebody's fucking reincarnation of Jesus. If you can't stop calling yourself awesome, I'm going to want you to fucking choke.
No, they got real serious this last season, though, when we finally got Mariner in a position to break down and explain, why are you self-sabotaging yourself on a constant basis? The series in a way kind of became a sequel to the episode Lower Decks from Next Gen, because it goes back to Ensign Cito.
Yeah,
because Mariner was friends and idolized Cito because she was like first year when Cito was repeating her senior year or first senior year, and then they're reading it. Yeah, and when she died, it was a gut punch to Mariner, and there was no time to process the PTSD because the Dominion War ran on the heels of that, and she just became a wreck. It's like, she still believes in Starfleet, but like, no way am I getting in a position of power. Don't you dare put me in a position of authority. So she kept screwing up deliberately to get busted back to ensign, so she's never in charge.
Of course, I watched an episode. All I kept thinking, Ensign Cito died, and all I kept thinking was, oh darn, she was cute.
Well, that's because you men are degenerate asshole perverts who think with your penises.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
Oh. There was an actress from Star Trek crap. It was one of the wasn't JJ Trek, but it was well before JJ Trek. Generations.
Okay.
Yeah, there was an actress on there who's actually retired now, but apparently her new vocation is fitting bras for large-breasted women.
Oh, Jeanette Goldstein. Yeah. She wasn't. She one of the crewmen of the Enterprise B. Never mind the fact that by now she was much more better known as Vasquez on Aliens.
Her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah.
Vasquez, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah, she ended up getting stuck in Atlanta because that was right around the time of the first lockdown. And
but
she was opening
a
shop up in Atlanta.
Yeah, she's got she's got a bra shop for those. Said the alphabet starts at D. Okay.
Well, considering the fact that I haven't been smaller than a triple D since I was 12, I kind of need that. I mean,
yeah, they would love you there. Okay. Oh yeah, we got just the right one.
when I tell people I started developing at 8, and I was a double D by 12 and a triple D before 13, they all look at me like, it's like, yeah, we do exist in nature. It's not all artificial, people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
But I get all these kinds of comments. It's like, no.
Where was I going first before you derailed me there with the Jeanette Goldstein's bra store?
I don't know. She confused me too. So
yeah,
fuck you.
Suck a dick, bitch. I mean,
oh God. Oh,
I'm
God.
saying
I love you,
nothing.
Seth.
I'm saying nothing on that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and you're a Burke.
Spam, lovely
Spam.
Bob, the Bobs are going, let's see if we can distract ourselves from this conversation for a bit. The women can destroy each other. We're just going to stay over here and sing to ourselves.
Lovely. You can't have bacon, tomato, and spam without the spam. I don't like spam.
Yeah, spam has become big in Hawaii.
It has.
It has been since the war. Yeah, that's the thing. True Hawaiian pizza would not be ham and pineapple. Ham and be pineapple and spam.
No, what they call Hawaiian pizza was started in Canada. Fuck them Canucks.
Details.
I got into a.
They also have.
I got into a
spam musubi.
Oh
what were you trying to say, Rob?
I got into it. Talk about after Canucks. I got into a not a Twitter beef, but some online thing where because I'm a part of a lot of hockey groups on Facebook, and the NHL might get locked out this year again.
Oh jeez.
I'm like, yeah, this is the last league that needs a lockout. Okay. I mean, there's that old joke about you never have two games in the same location because it gives fans time to travel from one city to another. But Canadians, I don't know if it's just Canadians, but there's this romanticism about the league in the 70s when there were only like 21 teams. Everybody was an angry, toothless journeyman, and there were teams in Quebec City and Hartford. I'm like, yeah, you know what, guys? Those days are long gone. Okay,
yeah,
those days weren't so great. And please, ladies, bear with me while I go on my hockey tirade.
Yeah,
I said you had I said you have teams in Las Vegas, you have teams in North Carolina, in Nashville, in Dallas, in 2 teams in Florida. You have a team in Seattle. You have you have more. You have another team in Minnesota. You have the Avalanche are back. Are representing?
We're the Nordiques. Yeah,
yeah, we're the Nordiques. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that was a sweetheart deal. You guys
that was a fucking out of nowhere. They didn't think they were actually. They just put in a bid. Just put in a bid.
Yeah,
they had no idea they're actually going to win it. So when they went, what? We won. Holy fuck! Now we.
I watched that.
We actually won. Holy shit!
That was a hell.
When he said the pardon me, ladies, the first thought I had is, I bet you I've played in more sports than he has.
Probably, most likely. I was never good at sports. I love sports. Was never good at them.
I don't like watching. I like playing. I did volleyball, wrestling, all that shit. I worked in shops and stuff. I was the one out hunting and trapping and doing woods work and rock climbing and shit when I was a kid.
But
I just like to do.
There's also no way they would have gotten Patrick Waugh if they'd stayed in the Nordiques.
Oh yeah, if they stay, yeah.
Because Waugh was playing with the Canadiens. It's like that was their arch rival.
Oh yeah, the same division, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's this whole thing though. I mean, like, oh, Gary Bettman has ruined the league. I'm like, Gary Bettman has not ruined the league. Yeah, do I like everything he's done? No. Okay. But listen, you have the games are on national television now in the United States.
Yeah.
In the 70s, there was no TV contract. If you didn't have a team in your area, you didn't see the playoffs.
The only national was in Hockey Night in Canada. That was it. Okay.
You had to live along the border to see something. Yeah, if you were lucky enough to live in Buffalo or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and do you remember when the Islanders won the Stanley Cup?
Not particularly, but I'll take it.
Well, that game was broadcast at 2 p.m. in New York, and it went to overtime, and they were going to cut away at 5:30 if the game wasn't over to go to golf and the local news. I'm like,
they learned nothing from the NFL, did they?
Danka. Neat.
I'm like, and that was only a few months after the Miracle on Ice.
It's like the legend of the Heidi Ball. When
I remember my brother telling me, "Here I am, I'm 10 years old. I finally get to see a game on television." My older brother's like, "Yeah, they're gonna leave the game if it's not over by 5:30." I'm like, "How can they do that?" Well, that's all they have. They're contracted for.
That's the thing, like, because there was a playoff game between the Jets and the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, the Heidi Ball.
They were going to cut because they had Heidi scheduled to run the Sunday night movie.
Oh.
And they cut away, and what they cut away from was the biggest comeback in NFL history.
The Raiders came back, and then won the game. Weed Eubank's wife calls him up and says, "Oh, congratulations, honey, on winning the game." "Ah, what do you mean won? They killed us."
No, they didn't.
If I recall,
and I think that there were enough football fans who had to burn the network down for doing that. It's like, don't you ever give them. So now we will carry the game in its entirety.
The game actually, they thought the game was going to be over. Actually, when they switched over to the movie, the president of NBC calls up the director or calls up the head of whatever, the sports department, and says, "Go back to the game now." And he says it was physically impossible for them to go back to the game. He goes, "Oh, we'll try. We'll see what we can do." Yeah. And they had to run the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Yeah.
They'd already started breaking down the gear. Said, "No, get it back up. We just got to hump it. We got to get back to the game." There was a great story Bob Costas tells back in '86 when he was doing the 86 when the Mets won 87, I think it was 87, 86 when the Mets beat the Red Sox, and it looked like the Red Sox were gonna clinch it, and then the Red Sox, they had everything was covered in plastic in the Red Sox locker room. They had the trophy on the table. They had champagne and everything. They had the cameras set up, and then the Mets started climbing back into it. And then he goes, "They have a runner on first. They have a runner on," and by the time Ray Knight gets up, Ray Knight's on like third. Bob Costa says to the director in the truck, says, "What do I do if the Mets come back and win this?" He says, "You break down the equipment. You get the hell out of there as fast as you can." And sure enough, the ball goes between Bill Buckner's feet. And Bob Costa's like, "All right, guys, let's get out of here. They're going to kill it down." And he said there was, by the time the Red Sox got into the locker room, there was no trace of celebration was ever going to never going to happen. Oh God.
See, it's those sports stories I love.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know how accurate this one. I guess Al Davis at one point was with the Chargers before the Raiders. I don't know. But it was, he got, someone talking to one of the Broncos players. He didn't know who he was and got him to pretty much lay out the entire defensive plan of the Broncos. And I think Lou Saban was the coach. "Al, get the hell out of here. What do you think you're doing?"
Oh, remember when the Broncos won Super Bowl 50? Oh my God.
Oh, that Dave Logan, one of the radio commentators, because we're doing the other friends that we're doing the thing of like, screw the TV commentary. We have the radio going. And oh my God, guys, we're actually going to win this one.
Yeah, we were coming back from Boulder after a shift at the radio station.
Okay, this is a different one because I remember I was at Mike and Laura's house watching that, and it's like one of the first one. It's like, holy cow, are we going to win this one, man?
The one
too many years of like just being right, and then
I'm talking about we're going to win this one. The big sports embarrassment I had was the miracle of the Meadowlands. Do you remember that?
Not really.
Okay, Giants have been losing for a long time, and they're trying to put together a decent season. Joe Pisarcek is the quarterback, and they have the ball.
He blew the handoff.
They blew the handoff to Larry Zonka. Yeah, they blew the handoff to Larry Zonka, and Herm Edwards comes around the end, comes around and picks up the ball, runs it into the end zone, and
Eagles win it.
The Eagles win it. Yeah, there's only enough time for one kickoff, and we were looking at each other. We watched the game. And we were, how the hell did this? What happened? They were winning. What happened? And then that Monday, the entire coaching staff was fired. Pete Rozelle, the commissioner, calls a meeting of the Giant ownership because Wellington Mara, the late Wellington Mara, and his nephew Tim Mara didn't get along. Tim Mara didn't want to spend money on good players. Wellington Mara did.
This is what happens.
Yeah. So Pete Rozelle, the commissioner of the NFL at the time, calls a meeting. He says, "Listen, if this league is going to grow and succeed, we need a strong team in New York. I'm not saying this. I'm not ordering you to hire him, but there's a guy named George Young who was GM in Baltimore. I highly recommend him. And if you're smart, you're going to hire him."
Yeah.
So, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
And then he went on that great run in the 80s.
Now I remember the replay thing. Yeah, Pisarcik's trying to hand it off, but the runner was not expecting it.
Yeah, it was Larry Zonka. Yeah.
No, it was Zonka.
It was Larry Zonka. Actually, the running backs at the time were Doug Kotar, and Larry Zonka. Larry Zonka was in the twilight of his career.
Because I remember Zonka was with the Dolphins for a long time.
Yeah. And he fumbled the snap. Something happened. He fumbled the
snap.
Well,
they handed off, but the guy wasn't expecting to hand it. He just ran right through and boom, there goes the ball, and here comes the Eagle. Bye.
My Uncle Louis lived literally a mile and a half from the Meadowlands, and that was never been to a game. That was the one game we decided to go to.
I remember way back after the first Super Bowl 12, and then like the next year, Craig Morton is kind of busted. We're gonna try Norris Weiss starting for a while.
Wow.
So Craig's gonna sit back. He's gonna be back up here, and a game against the Seahawks. Norris Weiss is not having a good day. Seahawks have got a pretty good leader, and it's just maybe a few minutes left in the game. Okay, put in Craig. Now, Craig Morton, throughout most of between the Cowboys and the Giants, especially when he was there, they had no offensive line. So he was getting beat up, and he wasn't that mobile to begin with. Especially by the time they got him. So, his knees were shot.
Well, you guys are doing this. I'm sitting here watching a few of these videos making fun of brides and bridezillas. There's this card that was given as a gift to the newlyweds at this one marriage. This is what it says on it. Advice for the newlyweds. Always swallow, never spit. Don't forget to pee after. A lasting marriage is built on these three things: sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Sometimes you need to swallow down hard, and I wish you both tons of sex and good shits. Love, you know who.
I'm pretty.
I'm sitting there looking at this going, what the hell?
No, but Morton, now he's been healthy for the first time in forever because he hasn't been beaten up all game. So he's nice. He's fresh as the daisy coming in like the fourth quarter, and he engineers like 3 comeback touchdowns. Even runs one in from like the field. He's smiling like a
Bob.
Yeah.
Shut up for a minute. There's a story.
He got a starting job back next week.
Today. That is guaranteed to make Rosetta's blood boil.
I'll tell you.
At this, I think it was like elementary school. His mother's native, and he was going to this elementary school, and well, he was very proud of his hair. He had it long and everything. And well, next thing you know, kid comes home looking all glum, and apparently either they made him cut it, cut his bangs, or they cut it themselves. Oh man.
Whatever.
I mean, yeah, I was so pissed off when I heard that. And
yeah. Okay, we got a question in the chat I should address here. Will Skydance save Lower Decks? I think.
I think
what
it's too
I
late for
think.
that.
I think Lower Decks itself, I think will probably 5 seasons will probably be it. But well, come on, mainly because they're not on the Lower Decks anymore. They've all been promoted lieutenants. They got their own quarters now, so they're no longer on the Lower Decks. I think they got some more. They got some more mileage with those characters in that ship. So I think a slight repurposing, new contract where Skydance is not, or where Secret Hideout is not part of it. And I think that would be a good way to go with it. Get it away from Secret Hideout because it's too expensive. Yeah, it's too expensive because you still got all of Kurtzman and his dozen executive producers who have nothing to do with the show, eating up all the budget.
How do they? I don't understand how you have 22 producers on a show like that.
They don't do it. It's because the thing is, credits on screen means someone gets paid.
Yeah.
With normal writers, you get paid for your episode. But if you're an executive producer, your name's on every episode. So every episode, you get a check.
That reminds me, one of the executives, like one of the first people to actually donate to the GoFundMe for Kenneth Mitchell's family. It doesn't make him any less of an idiot, but hell.
They got enough to go around. They certainly sucked enough off of Paramount to pay for. That's the thing. It's clear that no show needs 20 executive producers.
Why not?
At most 2, usually 1.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, usually the show's creator is executive producer, and then he hires a couple of line producers to actually do the grunt work. But when you're going through, it's like Red Letter Media is going, click, 20, 21, executive producer. It's like, good grief. They outnumbered the actors 3-1.
For God's sake. I still remember the story that Andy told about, when they brought in Gene Coon on the first Star Trek series.
Yeah, Andy Richardson was she was Gene Coon's secretary. And this is the 60s, proud black lady, and she had some reservations about working for a guy named Coon. But he's fine. He's a Marine, and pretty soon she's answering the phone. Hi, Gene Coon.
I always say I loved. There's a great Frank Zappa interview where he says that all those guys who approved those things in the 60s and in music and on the TV side too, they were all the older guys who just said, I don't know what this is. Take a chance, see if it sells. And who was it that got Star Trek on the air? It wasn't the hippie young guys. It was Desi and Lucy and Herb Solo.
Yeah, Herb Solo's an old network guy. That's reason they got sold to NBC because he used to work for NBC.
Yeah.
That Joe Trimble is under the theory that Herb Solo was NBC spy. He was still kind of working for them.
That's one of the things that makes me laugh about them saying that it was the first interracial kiss. Well, it wasn't. Really. It was the first scripted black and white kiss on air in the U.S. It was not the first interracial kiss. Part of why Lucy helped push for it so much is because of all the interracial stuff. Because honestly, the first scripted interracial kisses that were happening on US TV were happening in Lucy's show between her and her husband.
Yeah, her and Desi.
Lucy! That's it, Ricky. Curse the bitch out.
You got those splendid. Well, heck, it wasn't even the first interracial kiss on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Barbara Loon is Filipino.
Yeah.
They were smooching pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it's also, if you think about this and stuff, well, Lucy and Desi both had very violent tempers. They both admitted they were violent to each other without provocation at times.
They were much
so
better
it wasn't he was abusive and she wasn't, and she was a victim, or she was abusive and he was a victim. It was, they both flat out said we were hot tempered and we both hit each other when there was no provocation and no defense.
Yeah.
So this was truly mutual abuse with them. The thing is, once they got out of that marriage, they stayed best friends for a long time.
Yeah, they're much better friends.
They were better friends than they were a couple. Yeah. They were just two. The Cuban hot temper with the Celtic hot temper did not go well together. Okay.
And there was the issue, because Desi did like to run around with prostitutes and stuff, but I don't sleep with other women, I sleep with horse. That's the attitude. He's not cheating on somebody else's wife. No, he's going with he's keep helping this girl, he's supporting single moms. Okay.
Look at the supposed manosphere fake alpha shit today. They're still promoting this viewpoint that women cheat, men can't, because men aren't emotionally attached to sex.
Yeah.
It's like that's not that's not what cheating is. Cheating means you're sticking your dick in someone else. It doesn't matter if you're emotionally attached to it or you think she's just a sex toy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm still.
Did you see that TV movie they did with not with TV, but with Nicole Kidman and see what's Javier Bardem playing.
Oh yeah, that was
Desi.
on a Prime Video.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, Lucy on Nesca said no. Yeah, she nailed Mom. But Javier Bardem looks nothing like Dad, sounds like, but he got it. That was.
You know what? There was still these people trying to throw protests, claiming that Nicole's not from the same racial background. She fucking looked like her and nailed the personality. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, yeah.
You're not going to nail him exactly, so just get the idea.
You can only be what you can only play what you really are. I mean, that's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, they could have.
Remember, the people with that viewpoint are the same ones who threw a fit when they were trying to try to do the stupid live action Lilo and Stitch, which is dumb as fuck. But they literally threw a fit because the actors they picked for Nani and David were Hawaiian natives and they didn't think they were dark enough.
Yeah, we're arguing about shades now.
No, that's not racist. No.
Fuck you. It's like, who here remembers how dark was Don Ho?
Not very.
Actually, quite.
But he had a good time. But his daughter,
my point is, his daughter not at all, and his wife was native.
Yeah,
his daughter is more native than him, and she's blonde as freaking hell and pale.
People come in all shades, even racial.
I think here.
Yeah.
Just because somebody's pale doesn't mean shit. Yeah. It's also they're like, well, shit, they're pale. It's like, but they look like them. Well, they're not as dark as them. Most people who are Hawaiian natives are not as dark as the cartoon was created. When you're doing cartoons, you tend to over-dramatize the darkness of minority skins to help the variances stand out more.
You
exaggerate, just like you exaggerate the whiteness of skins too. So cartoon characters rarely will look like the racial equivalent. And it's not minstrel kind of stuff. It's not done to be belittle or that. It's done to make them stand apart easier in a different medium.
No, I was going with that Lucy and Desi thing. It's like, yeah, everything they said happened, but not in the same week. They had all this shit happen at the same time. They did have a problem with certain. No, Ed Frawley and Vivian Vance did not really get along for it because when
they really didn't like each other.
Vivian Vance is actually a couple of years younger than Lucy, but the idea was supposed to be also they made her gain weight to look more pudgy and dowdy. But she's Ed's playing your husband. Husband looks more like my father. He overheard that, and he remembered that.
That was the one thing actually. Who was Ethel? Who played Ethel Mertz?
Vivian.
That was Vivian.
Yeah. She really resented like Lucy and Desi because Fred Mertz was, he was an old man, and you really think I'd be married to someone like him? And it was really caused a lot of tension on the set.
Yeah.
Even with the weight gain that they had her go through, she still did not look that old. She still was a very beautiful woman.
Yeah. And they were perfect. They never caught it on screen. They were pros. Yeah.
Even before that issue where she said, "I don't want him playing the husband," they didn't like each other since previous jobs, long before the show. Even they didn't like each other. It's well known. And yet, did you see it on there? Look at and I have issue with the era where you were your jobs were picked by whichever studio you were assigned under. You had no say in what you were doing as a job. I actually do have moral and ethical problems with that, as making people play parts that they have a opposition to for different reasons.
Yeah.
However, the actors handled it because they didn't want to be on the show together.
Yeah.
But they handled it for years with class and dignity.
Because they also wanted to work.
Yes.
You start turning down jobs and yeah.
Terry Grant was a known egomaniac. People said constantly he was a bit of an ass to deal with. He hated horrors and he hated comedies. And they made him do Arsenic and Old Lace. And he hated every fucking second of it. He bitched about it for years after. Does it show in the way he played the part? Or did he play the part beautifully and hit the emotions and the jokes perfectly? He hated it. Oh God, he hated it. But it's still fucking phenomenal movie, and he did it well. What happened to that professionalism level?
One of my favorite.
Well, once everybody became a free agent, and then it's like, now negotiate whatever. It's like, no, I don't want to pay that. I don't believe in it.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies about old Hollywood was Hitchcock. Oh my God.
That's another case. They could have made Hopkins look exactly like Alfred Hitchcock, but they'd be under so much latex, you'd get nothing coming through. Yeah. So they give him just enough to get the ideas out, but otherwise, no. Let the actor act. Let him carry the rest of it.
My favorite my favorite movie that deals with spoofing Hitchcock, because again, I talked about, I like the cerebral and the intellectual horror of Hitchcock style more than others. My favorite movie spoofing Hitchcock is still fucking High Anxiety with Mel Brooks.
Yeah. High Anxiety.
Remember that? Remember that? PSA they did it.
Yeah, they did a little thing, for the old, silence your phones type of thing, and they did it, on the style of a kind of initial trailer they did for Psycho itself, or Hitchcock is, nobody let but certain people make sure you'll silence your phones, otherwise the audience may go completely psycho.
I do prefer an era of intellectualism over all the slasher crap and the shock value and stuff we have today. I like the intellectualism. I like the thought behind it.
Yeah.
If I'm going to watch something creepy, am I going to watch modern horrors, or if I want to watch something at least more in the modern era?
Yeah.
Fear, because it deals with stalkers and creepy bastards and trying to groom and all that stuff. Much better movie for actual shock value and fear. I mean, I want things that are intellectual.
Yeah.
In how they deal with you.
The movie Hitchcock, one I like is they basically open up like an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Theater. Because you see, show him like Ed Gein killing somebody, and then pan over, and that's Hitchcock. Good evening. And you get little touches of that throughout there. But that, and Helen Mirren, just like she had free, because there's very little about Hitchcock's wife. You got some footage of her, but no idea what she sounded like, what she acted like. So, Helen, do what you want.
Honey, remember that scene with Scarlett Johansson where Hitchcock was telling Janet Leigh how to do the scream and all that?
Well, it was the reaction in the showers, and then she wasn't getting the things. At one point, Hitchcock just grabbed the knife himself, got in there, and go, okay, that's it. Okay, now we're ignoring the chat here, so we got some things here. First, let's start up here. What do we got here, Dustin? Okay, let's not brought in next generation low deck or current low deck. I think that's not. It's more just. I think stick with the premise you got. What do these guys down below do? So the whole point, the whole pitch was like, I want to know who was it that stuck the stuff in when you went up in the mess when you hit a button and a banana comes out. Who puts the banana in there and that sort of thing. Like who runs the thing down below?
Well, the thing is, they kind of say they can give you an idea of how the banana comes out. It's just rearranging like strands of proteins and
but it's a general thing. It's like who are these other,
Can you please stop talking about bananas coming out before I start getting really bad ticks?
I was like, who are these other 900 people down below decks that we don't see on a regular basis? Let's visit them for a while.
It's a good premise. It's a good premise.
And again, so a lot of the heavy reference stuff, that was at CBS's insistence. They weren't going to go as heavy as they ended up doing we need more stuff. Make them know this is a Star Trek show. Okay, break up the tribute. But nothing. Why did Jeffrey Hunter allow his Mrs. Hunter? Okay. All right. The Jeffrey Hunter. Again, this is back in the day when TV and movie actors were kind of indifferent. Although, and Jeffrey Hunter, he was a movie. He was in The Longest Day. He was in The Searchers. He had a pretty good movie career going.
He played Jesus.
But he'd also done a TV show, Temple Houston. There's I think a detective shows him. So he was like, the movie's not. Let's try this television thing for a while. But he still wanted time off to do the occasional movie. And this is the new show. We kind of want our captain here. And I don't know, he's been something. So the wife went in, and the wife had an attitude. She married a movie star, not some cheesy TV actor. So she kind of like, and they screened the pilot for us. Say, hey, this is what we're doing with him. We like him back. But Jeffrey Hunter is a movie star. He's not going to do a show like this now. Okay. And apparently, apparently what Gene said, I can deal with Jeff. I can deal with Jeff's agent. I can deal with Jeff and a gorilla, but I cannot deal with that woman. So, get the list out. We got to find another captain. Okay.
Yeah, the guy who was on the Twilight Zone a couple times. Yeah, him.
And they start running through the things. I think at this point, I don't know if Jack Lord was before or after this, but he wanted 50% ownership of the show. There wasn't 50% left to go. It's like Desilu had most of it, and Gene had maybe 10% at that point. So it was spread out quite a bit. Lloyd Bridges, it sounds good, but sci-fi doesn't work on TV, Gene. So he passed. Majel suggested James Coburn.
That'd be interesting.
They said, well, Jim Colbert's not sexy. So as you know.
Honey.
Yeah.
Remember that time when we were trying to find a copy of the original Reefer Madness on DVD?
Yeah, and it turned out to be old Steve Reeves, the White Russian. I was like, what the hell? And they went back to Suncoast Video. This is not what they said it is. But let's see. Steve Inhat, who ended up playing Garth of Izar, he was in the short list at one point. But it was like, but Shatner was an up-and-comer at that point on TV. He'd had a pretty good theater career. His show For the Defense had just gone down in flames, highly regarded, very, critically acclaimed, but had the misfortune of going up against Bonanza, which was walking around into a sawmill. And so Shatner did the Star Trek pilot, and he also did a pilot for a show on Alexander the Great, which has been described as combat in drag. I've seen it. It's interesting. Him and Adam West. And it's like, but he's doing stuff like that. We must, experience the glory of taking this hill. Oh God, please don't let this sell.
Oh man.
So he did the Star Trek. Please, I want to do the Star Trek, but please, play. But also the thing about let's see, what are we gonna hear?
One of the had Jeffrey Hunter, would have Star Trek been more than just Cage and Menagerie? Well,
technically, the Menagerie was the title of the pilot when it was submitted, but they got away with it because they don't have the title on the screen. A lot of shows do that. They have actual titles, but they don't necessarily show the title on the screen. But so that's why when it became the two-parter, they just kept the name of the Menagerie, and they started referring to that first pilot they never aired as the Cage to differentiate it.
I did a video actually for my channel a while back because they always kept Kurtzman and company always kept coming back to the Cage. And I'm like, why do you keep the Cage was never canon? Like, why do you keep? And I figured it out. Oh,
it's listed first on Netflix.
Yeah, it was the first episode listed on Netflix. Oh, this is the pilot. Yeah. No, it's not, you dope. It's episode 0.
Technically, I mean, on paper, your target thing is this is the area you're shooting for. The Cage. This is your pilot.
This is the
problem.
Time thing.
They didn't come close to matching it though. Because technically the Cage happens before Discovery. But Cage, and then Discovery happened between the Cage and Where No Man's Gone before.
Yeah.
So it's not going to say, well, it's pre-TOS. No, it's during TOS if you go by that point. So that you
that reminds
really
me,
screwed the pooch on that thing. Because you got this is what the cage looked, this is what the Red Nose gone before looked, and then you got this thing in between. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You remember when they, when they tried to do reference to the city on the edge of forever. I
still say, if you listen carefully with the sound tune right, you can hear Harlan Ellison screaming from the great beyond, "You bastards! I'll get you for this!" So they're supposedly in his will. Do not let Star Trek touch City on the Edge of Forever. But think about, well, it's a refit. No. These are supposed to be 1/1000 scale. So you're trying to tell me this ship became this ship, and then a few years went back to being this ship. Do you know anything about mechanics?
No, they don't.
Clearly not.
They put a little Miracle Grow on it.
Yeah.
It's like my grandfather's hair. I'll tell that story once I'm done dealing with my sinus.
They did a magic dust there, and then they did more than a magic dust, and they did the spider, and make a meat and yeah. Right.
Okay, so the grandfather's hair comment goes back. Okay, back when my grandmother had her cancer and we were losing her. Mm-hmm. She was a very Catholic woman, so she convinced her husband that for her sake, he had to get baptized before she died. She wanted to make sure he'd be with her. Mm-hmm. And Grandpa, bless his heart, agreed to this. Grandpa was an eternal smartass military man.
Oh boy.
And she got him to do this in a little stodgy Catholic church. You've heard me bitch about this church. And we're all sitting there with the priest doing the baptism. And right as he sprinkles the water on my grandfather, he turns out, smiles, and goes, "Hey, you put some Miracle Grow in there? Maybe I'll finally get some damn hair up here."
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, my dad was bald too.
Mm-hmm.
No, the weird thing about this is Grandpa was bald for 30 years before this. He actually had hair from that day till he died for almost 2 decades.
Wow.
Yeah.
He started growing hair within a few weeks of that. It's like, I guess he's spoken into truth in the church, right?
It shows God's a smart ass too. Oh, really? All right. Here you go. No, that's why I'm wearing this one. No, this is not. This is the Yorktown class, because this way it matches up pretty closely to this size. This is just a little bit later. I call this I've been calling this the Bonhomme Richard class.
So,
an homage to some of the early
to
fanfic
explain
stuff.
My grandfather well. About a year and a half, 2 years before we ended up losing him, we did this whole family event, gathered everybody together, and had these multi-generation photos with him. It was him, his kids, their spouses, their kids, their spouses, and his great-great-grands. We all get set up. We get this big room together. We're doing these photos. Everybody's waiting. He walks in the door late, smiling from ear to ear, in a T-shirt that says, "Who the hell are all these people, and why are they calling me Grandpa?" Which he proceeded to wear for every family photo that day.
I've been meaning to ask Rob.
Grandpa was fun.
Yeah, Rob, do you like the DC comics and all that?
Is the Pope Catholic?
Well, now I know a place we got to take him to.
Well, the Mile High Comics Megastore? Yeah.
Nope.
That's something Mecca should have dragged you to when you were still out here.
Yeah. We drove past it.
I'm talking about a little place in Illinois.
Oh, Metropolis, Illinois. They went whole hog in the Superman thing back in the 70s, and it's an annual thing. They got a nice piece of 20-something foot tall Superman statue in the center of town.
There's a little town in Canada called Vulcan.
But yeah, they've also they've
got one days.
There's an old steel town, I think. Yeah.
Bear in mind, I'm not far from Riverside here in Iowa.
Yeah, she showed me some pictures, maybe drool. Okay.
I remember we talked about that on my old podcast, Reality Wasted.
Yeah.
And all I kept thinking was, and I actually said this, it says, yeah, geez, knowing all that, what do they do in Chevy Chase, Maryland?
Probably deny it. No, we're not allowed here.
Deny it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Who?
His real name's not Chevy anyway, so I think that's where he got the nickname from.
yeah, but I remember
Mortimer,
when
I
we
think.
were kind of
But we got a thing here. It's
went
like,
back from Florida, right before all the lockdowns started happening. One of the places we stopped was Metropolis. Oh,
well, because we kind of blew by it on the way down there, and it's like, can't we? No. He's like, okay, fine. Well,
if you guys come over here to go to Metropolis, you're going to have to meet up with me.
Oh yeah, because they're definitely, Riverside will definitely be a destination. It was bad enough because originally we were going to go out to Virginia to hook up with the kids here. So in which case, yes, the Smithsonian will be on the. I will go see the Enterprise.
To everyone who always wants to know my attitude, I have to replace this again soon because I wear them out. But this has been what I keep as my mouse pad for a long time.
Live fast, die red.
With a dead red shirt next to a phaser.
But now the JJ ships. I still went, how the hell? Look at Hot Rod. It's a military vessel, you dweeb.
I gave my dad a shirt that said the Live Fast, Die Red. He loved it to pieces. He was starting to put it on one day. This is right before we lost him. Because he was going down to the res to get medical work done at the hospital. He puts the shirt on, looks in the mirror, and goes, I probably should take this off. I don't think this will mean the same thing on the res.
No, it's not. This is the JJ Pride. That's not a serious design. You look at the thing. This is not a ship that conveys any kind of power. Like I said, it looks like a cruise ship. Listen, I've already got preliminary designs to do a Princess Cruises decals on the whole thing. He's working because of the big ledge, part of the secondary hull. So I got to work that out.
Let's put this way. Rob, if you wonder how I got so demented, Bob, you were there when I streamed with my mother. What is she like?
Just like her. Yeah.
No.
They're a match set. Yeah, the Kelvin's the size of the Enterprise D. Okay. And this is supposed to be before the. No.
Oh, remember when you actually finally met Bijo, honey?
It's like J.J. Abrams is a serious case of Star Destroyer envy. Okay. Yeah.
Bob? You remember when you finally met?
Oh yeah, it was finally. Yeah, I finally got. I made a point of. It's a shirt I got to replace because it was lost in the crash. But I had a reproduction of something from the 70s. Property Klingon Rollerball Club, a rollerball team, and I matched the font exactly. It's in my cafe press shop. Link down below in the description. But I got to replace that. I did get but I didn't get the right color. I think it's probably a little too small. But I got because I liked that. I finally one that fit. It was the right shade and everything. And
fucking microburst. Out a couple times when we were, still on. The street.
Yeah. But she's also a good story about that shirt back in the day, because she was out in Hawaii, and she kind of a friend who was a school teacher, and they're helping around on a field trip. And kind of left Bijo in charge of these kids on the bus for a while. And they're making comments, Howley, they're the Howley girl. Well, she's in okay. See the shirt? The Property Klingon Rollerball Team. This is the 70s. Rollerball was big at the time in the theaters. So a Klingon rollerball team, I was like, put a bit of a fear of God in these kids, so they behaved quite well for a while. Spicy little redhead up there saying, "Try me."
Bob, you and your obsession with crazy batshit redheads.
Well, now Bijo's kind of got a purple blotch on the back.
Yeah, but part of why I said that comment.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, that and why do you think you hang out with me? I mean,
yeah. Like I said, I'm just kind of slightly stupid. The whole this thing about trying to find out what Scottish clan are we, lined up with, because we get some Scottish, but give me a clan affiliation there. And finally, it's like friend Sinead Watson. I met through, she's a D-trencher, but we got pretty good, pretty friendly. Chatted for a while I was fixing dinner one time. She, had some suggestions about, doing the mashed potatoes. My grandmother's maiden name is Watson. It's like, oh, there we go. Because I'd been told Watson was an English name, so I never bothered to dig into it. I'm further into my dad's time. There's a lot of obvious Scottish names. Well, which one is more prevalent? No, Watson is a it's the clan Watson. Okay, it's affiliated with the Buchanans. Okay, yeah, okay, I got it now. So now I'm going to eventually get the hook for a Watson tartan kilt.
Honey, remember who your mother is? My God, please.
Yes, mother's maiden name Dudley. Turns out a direct descendant of Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, favorite of Elizabeth II. Unfortunately, it's to an illegitimate Elizabeth I, rather. Unfortunately, it's through Dudley's first illegitimate son. So no, we don't get our £1 million at estate. They have been supposed to try and get him recognized as a legitimate heir, but they haven't gone anywhere.
Well, I still remember when we told your mother about that. Yeah, she started turning into an Uber snob.
Well, she was an Uber snob anyway. My sister's definitely picked up on that. Okay, this one I'm wondering. This one, do not have necessarily with curtains. For some reason, Eves likes the thing with the open spaces on the thing. No, but the stretch you can probably get away with it, but the main things when they did discover this big gap in the hull, it's like, are you insane? I mean, between the big gaps in the saucer section, and then of course the TARDIS interior masquerading as the turbo shafts. It's
like 100 shuttlecraft coming out of the ass end of the Enterprise.
And it's like, do you guys have any idea how these ships work? This has been well established. Okay.
Well,
what the hell do you think is it?
Well, it pisses me off that there's guys. I probably shouldn't mention his name. Steve Shives is a YouTuber. He always says, well, there's people out there that will say that you can't do this in Star Trek, but this is fiction. You can do whatever the hell you want. I'm like, no, Steve, that's the problem.
That's not how fiction works. In fact, it's the exact opposite fiction. Fiction, non-fiction, documentary stuff, that doesn't have to make. It just has to have happened. Because real life doesn't really make sense a lot of times. No, this is what happened.
Yeah, really. I was just going to tell Rob
the magic bullet did happen. Okay, don't explain. They even duplicated it. Yes, sir. But
anyway,
but fiction has to make sense.
Yeah, while we were on our way back from Florida, I finally got to do the pilgrimage I've always wanted to do.
Which is
White Castle.
Yeah, we had a White Castle.
She's a very, very weird woman.
Yeah, and I wasn't impressed. Frankly, Crystal's was better.
White Castle's okay. I mean, it depends how drunk you are.
Yeah.
What about those of us who don't do anything like drinking or drugs?
Don't bother.
And it's just and
hate fast food.
Yeah, definitely don't bother. But the thing is, I'm trying to explain to I need a bag of sliders. What? This is White Castle, right? What the hell? I'm meant to explain this. Let's see let's see this one here. It's like,
but the whole people. Robert Meyer Burnett calls it verisimilitude. I call it buy-in. A lot of people call it buy-in.
Yeah.
You have to everything has to make sense, otherwise the audience is going to say, "Hold on, wait a minute, that's fucking stupid."
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I like most of the Wonder Woman movie, but they had her vulnerable enough in enough of the scenes that by the time they got to the point of the big bad moment and her charging into the tank fire with just the little outfit and her armbands, I was giggling because the storyline and her strength was inconsistent.
Yeah.
Troopy,
what?
I hate to ask you this, but
you're gonna anyway, so just spit it out.
Can you bring me some? Can you bring me that bottle of Pepto?
Hold on.
What she's saying is that her stomach is as annoying as her.
As far as the Scots, right now, Britain has much bigger problems than the old, standard animosities between the Scots, the Irish, the English, and no, we're not going to get into that right now, especially since we don't have Steamy or Freaky here. Failed, but
I don't think I've seen the first Wonder Woman.
Steph needs your Pepto. Hold on.
I mean, it's okay. It was, to me, way overrated. People acted like it was so beautifully done, and to me, I was giggling at the story most of the time. Granted, I am the one who, when I tried to watch Force Awakens, fell out of my fucking chair laughing so hard I almost pissed myself at that stupid dumbass lightsaber. I've been studying fencing and sword fighting my whole life. Do you know why the hilt exists? The hilt is to protect your hand. You don't fucking put a weapon on the hilt, you dumb fuck.
That's all J.J. Abrams is concerned with is, does it look good?
It didn't look good. It looked stupid.
Oh. Yes.
Like the Enterprise rising out of the water like the sea view. No! That doesn't work. Spaceships are not built the same way as submarines.
And the freaking Enterprise is not meant to operate in an atmosphere in gravity.
Keep away.
In the fridge.
I'd say JJ should come back onto social media where we can mock him more, but back when he was on social media, he blocked me everywhere anyways. I mean,
I had to see The Force Awakens twice because there was a little kid in the theater right directly in front of me. He kept climbing on the seat backs. He was running up and down the aisles. Whoa, look, whoa, the lights. And his parents would say to him, he must have been about maybe 3 or 4. And his mom and dad would say, you got to be quiet now because people are trying to watch the movie. And then he would go in his little voice, no.
That's when you spank the crotch blossom. I mean,
yeah. And then right during the final climactic moment, again, you have to be quiet now. No. And they said something to him, and he goes, Wah! I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. So it was distracting the whole movie. So I had to go see it.
I understand that. I'm not a Blade Runner fan, so that question is not a fair one to me because I genuinely don't remember 90% of it. So,
but I've said this repeatedly. Please, parents, stop taking small children to the movies.
I think it depends on A, what movie you're going to.
Yeah,
and B, how well that small child is behaved. I took my nephew to all kinds of movies when he was a baby through early childhood. Mm-hmm. But I took him to kids' movies, and he was a very quiet kid and didn't like to make noise around people.
Yeah, I remember.
I think it depends on the person. But also, if you take a kid and they start getting loud, suck it up, miss part of the movie, and take your fucking ass out in the hall until they calm down.
And I point this out all the time. When I went to go see Casino Royale, there was a late showing, and there was a couple that actually brought a small child in a stroller to the movie with them. And listen, I understand you want a night out, okay?
Did you mention bringing the little kids to see Harold and Kumar Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
People brought little kitty kids to see a Harold and Kumar movie. What the fuck are you thinking?
They're not.
Mm-hmm.
My
it's
parents
a part of entitlement.
Yeah.
My parents had to make a lot of sacrifices with 5 kids, and one of those was not going to the movies for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure my dad made a very tactical error when he took me to go see Vanishing Point.
Bob and Steph,
when I was like 6 or 7.
I grew up really, 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 really poor. I didn't know entertainment unless it was books I was grabbing at a library to read or stuff when we were visiting someone else. So, I mean, but I still remember I was a little girl watching gangster and mobster movies with Dad.
Yeah.
I still remember walking into the room 3 or 4 years old. My grandmother did not believe in not watching her horror movies just because kids were in the house. She loved her horror movies. I still have this vivid memory of walking into the room and turning to the TV, and all I can remember is it was some scene where somebody was literally being gutted on a hook. And I pointed at it while blood splattering in the scene and went, That's stupid and boring, and walked out of the room. I was so jaded to this shit by that age. It's like, whatever, that's dumb.
Yeah, remember that time, honey, when we got home from your class at broadcasting school and the floor looked like a CSI crime scene?
Yeah, when we were out, my mother had slipped and fell and cut her, split her, really cut her, upper lip there. My sister had gone and got her to the hospital. Then somehow we got told that she'd had an accident. She's fine, but hospital being patched up. When we got there, and there's just a huge blood. It already started flaking by the time we got back. I was like, holy shit. That little porcelain frog that she got, she tripped on this rug that was on there. So it had nothing to do with it, not because of our stuff. It was stuff that was already there. So she tripped and fell, and cut herself real bad. I think we still have that frog. I think I glued it back together. At least we got that.
We do. We also still have my my Grimace mug that your mother broke.
Yeah, but it's not suitable for it's now a pen holder.
I will look back.
It's sitting up in the front room next to
all the things I've dealt with crazy injuries, and I still maintain the worst thing I've dealt with dealing with injuries was my mother in her recovery stage after she dislocated both shoulders and broke the ball joint in one. My mother, my hyper crafty artistic mother, stuck for almost 3 months in a fucking arm split where they restricted her arms so they couldn't move.
Ooh.
Ouch.
I bet she was fun during that period. Yeah, I think either that or just start learning to paint like Johnny Erickson with a paintbrush in her teeth.
It started out, I went because Dad called and said, well, your mom just fell. It's like, well, we have an appointment tomorrow to go get the car worked on because we can't travel with it yet. So actually, technically, in a day and a half, we had the appointment. It's late Christmas Eve. We have the appointment the day after Christmas. There's nothing we can do. We can't travel before then. And there's no way to get a rental at that time. So we tell them, just hold on, do as best as you can, taking care of Mom. We will be there soon. We will help. We will take care of her. My dad had multiple forms of muscular dystrophy. He could not take care of her in this state.
No.
Half the time we had to help take care of him. So, I mean.
Yeah.
So you had two people who couldn't lift shit or do shit. So me and my husband, the second the car is fixed, take off and drive through the night that day to get there the next morning. Less than 72 hours from when Dad told us we show up at their door. Dad looked like death. His eyes were bloodshot. They looked like he'd been beaten in the bottom of his eyes. Yeah. And he looks at me and goes, thank God you're here. You deal with her now. And walks into the bedroom and lays down. And just walked into the bedroom and laid down. Like, I'm done. Fuck it. I was like, and I could look over at Mom, and Mom goes, yeah, he's wanting to run away from me right now. Okay.
Oh, you should have seen what Bob did. Fracture my.
What?
You remember you brought that extra DVD player in?
Yeah, she's in the hospital covering because again, while I was out or somebody here, like I generally describe it as Steph doing kind of an unauthorized attempt to do a James Brown dance move in the kitchen, and it didn't go. She slipped on there was a clothespin on the floor, and she slipped. So fractured her femur. Problem is, first hospital I went to, the closest one, they didn't do a CAT scan, so they didn't see it.
No.
So they didn't even prescribe pain. Just sent her, overnight, stayed over one night, and then sent her home after like 3-hour attempt to get up off the couch to go to the bathroom. Okay, that's it. And then we went to the hospital where we normally would go, where our doctors are. And then, no, they ran a CAT. Oh yeah, there's a hairline fracture here. This is why they didn't see it. And you're scheduling for surgery.
IHS sent me home after I was trampled with multiple cracks in my spine and every rib cracked at least one place. Fucking IHS. I mean, but the reiteration of that though, yes, I will reiterate. Those few months with my parents during that time were hell. There were many phone calls to my husband going, "Get me the hell out of here! They're crazy."
God.
Absolutely, were many calls. But I stayed. I took care of them.
Mm-hmm.
I paid for everything I could for them, made everything as comfortable for them as possible. Mom paid me back by presenting me with 3 gifts that she got me because I paid all her bills during that time. So she had the money for these. The 3 gifts she got me. One was a KitchenAid for me and my husband's cooking. One was a Vitamix for me and my husband's cooking. The third one was a camera, and that's when I actually started as a photographer. So there's an interesting catch to that.
Yeah.
Something really, really profoundly good came out of it.
Yeah.
And my mom told me when I was visiting here, helping after we lost Dad, that she considers the injury worth it if it got me started as an artist and photographer.
Well, there you go.
So it's an odd scenario. I'll guarantee you that. Also, meow. Still one of my favorite pictures I took. Meow.
Aww.
Yeah, do you know how hard it is to actually manage to get pictures of wild bobcats in the woods?
Yeah.
I can imagine.
And that one was taken on Christmas Eve in 22.
Kitty.
It was on Wildlife Loop, about 3.5 miles into the loop from the southern entrance in Custer State Park in the Black Hills. And I know where his cave is. I've tried to get pictures of him multiple times. I see him all the time, but he doesn't sit still for the pictures very often.
Yeah. Okay, here's one we could probably address. Okay. Basically, it's just the money got better. You start, I think it's part of proper negotiation is not really a good. You don't get a good deal unless you've got it at the table a couple of times and threaten to walk out. So make the other side know you're serious.
Yeah, like my father always said, don't be afraid to walk away.
Yeah.
There's so many really bad jokes I could make with that. I'm going to try to be nice.
The main thing is, though, when this other idiot came out of nowhere and tried to undercut the whole deal, no, go away. We've been working for months. Fuck you. And this guy is he was heir to Seagram's. His dad was great. He negotiated with the Soviets to get Jews to emigrate, to Israel. And did a lot of stuff. But this guy pretty much spoiled little rich kid, sold Seagram's. He owned Universal for a while. Produced a movie with Jack Nicholson that bombed badly. Had some success as a songwriter apparently, but otherwise it's just corporate raider type, gone from company to company type of thing. Selling But it turns out no, $6 billion is not enough. You need about 7 or 8. It's like okay, fine. They weasel back off.
Actually, a couple that were part of Nexium were Seagram heiresses.
So,
but the Skydance thing is like Skydance really they're looking for a studio. It's a production company with no studio of their own, so they think so now they have one. So at least it means they're not going to sell the whole lot off for condos. I'm sick of that shit.
Oh God.
That's what
I still got cheese off this close down Cinderella Twin.
Yeah, there's a drive-in down south side of town. The Twin drive-in, it's now a bunch of condos now. But yeah, it's like David McCallum someone in it was a NCIS season, but about, or maybe it was on the Man from U.N.C.L.E. set, because the route he took to work to go to NCIS was the same route because it was on the Lormar set. It was the old MGM set where they shot Man from U.N.C.L.E. So he's taking the same route to work, that he did back in the 60s. And he has, they showed some home movies I'm driving on thing with the different backlot sets.
Okay.
Didn't our buddy in California once take a bunch of props from DS9?
I don't know, guys, but I'm running out of gas here. So
I've been pretty much out of gas for a while. I'm just trying to finish this one so I can get the set done.
All right.
Fuck.
I'm gonna check out for the night, and everybody, it's not always nice talking to you guys.
Hopefully, I'll get more streams going soon here once I'm not quite so pathetic with my sinus still being sick.
Yeah, I'm still trying to locate my camera. I just probably got to buy a new one.
And I honestly don't even know if you've actually seen much of my photography or anything.
Probably I've seen a few pictures here and there.
I have a lot.
Oh.
I've been doing it now about 6.5 years, and I do very devoted to it. And yeah, at this point, I have around 400,000 photos I've taken.
Oh, wow.
And that doesn't count photos of my art and other stuff. That's just my actual photography workout. Like I said, I have a lot of hard drives on this computer of my music, my photos, and other shit.
No, but so they really missed an opportunity before Robert Vaughn died to have him do a guest spot on NCIS as one of Ducky's old associates from back in the day. They're gonna have, because they made Ilya Kuryakin jokes about Ducky all the time.
All right, kids. I'm out of here for the evening. I'll see you all later. Everybody, thank you for having me, as always. Don't stay up too late. Do your homework.
Don't stay up too late. He's still getting to know me, apparently. I mean,
It's Friday. Come on.
I know. All right, guys. And ladies,
have fun there.
I'll talk to you later. See you later. Bye.
Yeah. Why are you muted?
My tirades. I do need to go, so I don't know if you want to keep the stream going or not. But
okay,
I'm going to try to actually finish watching a few things and working on this.
Well, I've been it for 2 hours, so I think part of the you want
your wife's yelling at you. No. Bye, guys.
Okay, didn't quite get the plug pulled here. Starfleet doesn't operate that way. Fighters in Yeah, I think I better pull the plug here now before it goes weird on me here completely. So, let's find the entry and we'll talk.